Hello everyone, myself Vivek K. Today we are here to have a discussion on Indian society questions which have been asked in 2022 mains. Along with, we will also discuss 5 important takeaways which any student who is preparing for 2023 should understand, should take away from these questions. So let's get started. So these are the 6 questions asked from Indian society. I know you might have already gone through the question, but still if you want to go through, you can pause the video and have a look. Now, before starting it, if we look at the mark distribution of Indian society, it's being kept very static, like 75 marks in 2019. It's maintained in 2020, in 2021, 10 mark, 1 question come aya, and 2022 it's being 75 marks and 6 questions has came from Indian society. So from mark wise it is a very, the pattern is highly consolidating. But there are internal changes happening, so much differences we can see in the questions. So we will discuss it on next slide onwards. So the first major takeaway which I want to emphasize is every question which is asked, not just this year, if you look at the previous year also, every question is one way or other way directly coming from the syllabus. So if you're a student, this is the first must thing. You should completely internalize the syllabus. Internalize means it's not just you just read it once and you just forget it. You should understand what will come under the diversity of India. You should understand what are the factors which is coming under it. What are the elements which stakeholders under it. Example, tribals is coming under diversity of India. Likewise, for every word given in the syllabus, you should have a complete understanding. What constitute inside it, what are elements which is being asked in paper. All this you should have a very clear picture. That is the first thing which I need to emphasize. And in this question, you can see one question on globalization and new technology. Globalization is directly given in the paper. In every year, you are getting a question from globalization. Secularism, a question came this year. Secularism is exactly given in the paper. There are questions previous year on regionalism. The terms which are given in the question are being directly asked. So you should not miss on these things. Let's go ahead. So that is the first thing. Secondly, if we understood where the questions are coming, the syllabus, the broad areas. Secondly, why the questions are coming, let's have a look on it. If we look at the Indian society questions, one thing you can clearly see is 3 questions. See this part, 3 questions. One is on tribal communities. Second question is on salience of sect in India. What is sect? Sect is simply a group of people with different beliefs. For example, you can take, if you take the aspirant community in Rajendra Nagar, it consists of people from Kerala, it consists of people from UP, it consists of people from Northeast. But we are all together for certain purpose or we are at a place. So we can call it as a sect. So important, analyze the sect. And in the same question, UPSC is also giving some directives like caste, region, religion. So it's also being taken directly from the syllabus, like communalism, regionalism, secularism. Third question you see here, it is a secularism, elements of secularism, tolerance, assimilation, pluralism, these parts is asked. So these 3 questions, it is directly coming from syllabus. Now the other 3 questions you see here, one question is impact of work from home on family relationships. Why this came? If you are going through the newspaper, recently Prime Minister made a comment like flexible work culture and work from home is need of the future. If Prime Minister is making a comment like work from home is a need of the future, obviously it is very important. And in post-COVID, whatever the evolutions is going on work culture, it is highly depending on work from home, gig economy, all these. So it's directly coming from what is in news. Work from home. Secondly, the next question you can see, growth of Tier 2 cities related to the rise of new middle class. Tier 2 cities, and with an emphasis on culture of consumption. What is you can infer from this? See, if we go through again, I'm emphasizing on importance of newspaper. If you read newspaper, after COVID, what India is experiencing is an accelerated phase of growth phase. Very high growth phase India is accelerating. And there are articles where this growth is coming from. Where this growth is coming is from higher consumption. And how higher consumption is happening in Indian economy? It is coming from middle class. And why middle class? Where middle class? It is from tier 2 cities. Tier 1 cities are highly saturated. You can see problems happening in Delhi, Bangalore and all. Tier 2 cities are not having that much of issues, and they are booming, and their consumption from the new middle class is driving India's growth post-COVID. So there are articles, there are so many news on how India's growth being analyzed. So this question also I will categorize as a current affairs, directly taken from something in the news. This question, globalization and new technology. This question also has been in news. We will discuss it in later slides. Okay, this is also a current affairs question. So what is the whole inference of all this talk is, at least in Indian society, by no chance you are going to neglect static. There is equal emphasis on static as well as current affairs. And whenever you are doing your preparation, don't think that you read the current affairs compilation, you read the current affairs XYZ material, and your Indian society part is completed. No, the questions are directly coming from static part, and if you are not clear with static, you are not going to write good answers in this. Whole your preparation should have equal balance of static as well as current affairs. Let's move ahead. What is next is, if you next part of your analysis is coming on, we have seen where the questions are coming. Questions are coming from syllabus. And secondly, we have seen there is equal important to current affairs as well as static. Thirdly, if I speak, there is need for more optimization. We are all have very less time. It's not like you are not going to clear the exam by studying everything. There is so many books, so many materials, so many data elements. So you need to optimize your study. How to optimize your study? You should have a clear understanding on how the questions are coming, how the pre-YQs are coming, what is the pattern, what is the areas of coming. So let's have a analysis on this. If you can see, last year 2021, a question came on tribal knowledge, uniqueness of tribal knowledge. This year you can see a very similar question on tribal community, diversity of tribal community. Go ahead. Last year a question came, how gig economy is impacting empowerment of women. This year another question came, work from home impacting family. So you can see the pattern of question is having a very strong relationship. Now if you take globalization, this is one of the most important element in Indian society. Continuously last 4 years, 5 years, question is asking from this. So if you are preparing, if you are a student, you should not just study globalization, you should explore it on all ambits. Every stakeholders, like for say women, elderly, children, youth, every stakeholders in society, religion, how globalization is impacting. You should have a completely clear understanding on this. Let's move ahead. You can see the elements of secularism is asked this year. There was a question in 2018 on India versus West, secularism ideas. So a very similar question came here. So what I am saying is, you need to optimize your preparation by analyzing the previous year. This is very, very important step. Let's move ahead. This is the third takeaway. Never forget the PYQs, importance of PYQs. So we will continue with our fourth important takeaway. That is, the questions are evolving with years. As you can see, questions are having relations with other topics in the other GS papers also. As you can see, in 2021, a gig economy question came in Indian society. Gig economy, we usually follow it in economy. Cryptocurrency question, where it will you study? Study it in GS3. Either in technology or in where you study it, in economy itself. So these questions are coming in Indian society. You can see work from home. This is also something related to economy. This is also coming in Indian society. globalization and new technology. What you will include here? Why this question came? You can relate it with lithium, with the happenings of like boost of electric vehicles. Lithium is becoming a very scarce metal, and lithium race for lithium is going on among all the countries. If India, US, China, everyone want lithium, and the race is going on. Another one is, in the time of COVID, we have seen the chip shortage. So chip shortage also related to so many global happenings. So how these happenings is impacting society. So different topics from different parts of the syllabus. This is from geography, you can connect with, or new technology, you can connect with science and tech. Science and tech, economy, the questions are getting more and more interrelated. So how do you tackle this? It is not feasible when you are studying Indian society, you will sit and look at the whole syllabus of GS 1, 2, 3 and take the connections. What I recommend is, whenever you are reading about gig economy, whenever you are reading about cryptocurrency, whenever you are reading about anything, something related to space, something related to new developments in microbiology, always think, have a societal perspective on it also. Always think how it is going to impact different stakeholders in Indian society. For say, how it is impacting family, how will it will impact women, how will it impact children, how will it impact elderly people. So whenever you are reading anything in other papers, in other topics, always keep an eye open for what are the societal implications of it. So this is how we can somehow tackle the interdisciplinary nature of question which is coming in the recent times. Let's go ahead. And the fifth takeaway which I need to emphasize is, the nature of the questions are also undergoing a gradual change. Like if 2 years or in 2013 when the syllabus change came, that time the questions were more very direct type questions were coming. If you see this question, tribal community question. So when we prepare, what is our general tendency? Tribals, कौन होता है tribals? Who is the tribal? We will study it. After that, what are the problems tribals facing? After that, what are different law which is there to help the tribals or upliftment of tribals, law or schemes? After that, we will have a detailed way forward on tribals. So this is what a normal student does. Now, how you tackle this question from that perspective? This question is having, where this question is coming from, it is, you should have a clear understanding on who the tribals are. What is the definition of tribals? What is the diversity of tribals in India? Suppose tribals in Kerala is quite different from tribals in Northeast, and that is quite different from tribals in Madhya Pradesh. So you should have what are different diversity of tribals in India, and what is the unifying elements behind all this. Even though there is so much diversity, there is also unifying factors, how you should see them as a single category. So question is coming from who the tribals are. You will, of course, everyone will have some knowledge base on tribals, but the question is little tilted. See this question, salience of sect. There is a tendency that you may not be exactly remembering what is sect, or you may find it difficult to relate it with, if you don't understand the correct meaning of it, you will find it relating it with other terms given in the question. So this thing is happening frequently. Like nature of the question is totally evolving towards more complexities, more things which we usually don't read. So how to tackle this? Tackle is, you don't need to do any extra reading. What you need is, you already have a knowledge base on tribals or sect or caste, on religion, on region, everything you already have an existing knowledge base. What skill you really need to tackle this kind of question is, you should have a very clear, crisp understanding on how to use this knowledge with 8 minutes or say 10 minutes. How to use what knowledge you have into a decent structure for this answer and implement it in the paper. This skill you should evolve from doing quality test series. You should practice how your existing knowledge can be used in a very small amount of time in different types of question that is being asked, which may not be very directly of what you prepared. This comes with a lot of practice. So these are the 5 things overall I need to emphasize. We will have a quick look. First thing is, never forget the syllabus. Every question is coming from the syllabus. Do internalize it completely. Second is, in Indian society, you should have equal weightage to static as well as current affairs. Thirdly, themes are getting repeated. The nature of questions are getting repeated. So do a very detailed analysis of PYQs. Fourthly, interdisciplinary nature of questions are coming. Gig economy, science and tech, all are coming in Indian society. How to tackle it? Whatever you read, newspaper or static material, keep an eye open for social implications. How it will be impacting different social stakeholders. Fourthly, nature of the questions are evolving. Like it is getting more complex or it is getting slightly different from what we read. So you need to practice such questions where you can use your existing knowledge and write a decent answer, even if the question is little bit twisted or you are not very clear about what is asked. You still have to address the demand of the question at least with your existing knowledge. This comes with a lot of practice. So these are the 5 things I really emphasize on from the questions which has came from society. I hope you have enjoyed the session. Thank you very much.